There's many moments in our lives where something monumental happens, and it turns into down the road, where were you when? And dare I argue that on Monday night, I ask, Dirt, where were you when you found out Anfernee Simons was officially being traded from the Blazers?
I was laying in bed. I was laying
Were
in bed.
you really?
I was. I think it was at 8 something when the trade went down.
About 8:15.
It was in that ballpark.
Right in that ballpark. I was climbing into bed. It's the end of my day. I'm tired, and I'm ready to, just kind of pal around on the phone a little bit, check some stuff out, do some, little bit of stuff for the rest of the week, even though we weren't going to have a show on Tuesday. And then I had a notification pop up on my phone. I think it was from a listener because my phone was open, and a listener tweeted us. Basically, what? With a bunch of T's. And I'm like, what did you tweet us about? And so I opened up social media and I said, what? We traded Anfernee Simons. That's where I was.
I was in a beach chair, high, sitting in my driveway.
Yeah, you were.
Talking Blazers with my brother-in-law. And I'm not kidding when I tell you, a listener drove up next to my driveway.
Pulled up to the Sprague household.
Nice little Camaro, just pulls up, stops.
Rolls the window down.
Windows down. It got traded. What? What? Shams, it got traded.
Where am I right now?
And I had to do a triple. I'm like, have we met?
Do I know you?
But I didn't say that out loud, obviously. But I'm thinking have we met?
Do you know who I am?
We hadn't met.
No.
But he knew who I was.
Shout out to that guy, man.
Dude, he came back around with his family, and I met him. He's a very nice guy.
Doing the Lord's work, just delivering the news, old school style. It's like Paul Revere on a horse, man. He's driving through the neighborhood.
He's like,
it got traded! What? What did he say?
Shams! It's from Shams! So I hold my phone. Oh, man! You're right! And then he just drove away. And then I'm in this... Oh, my God.
Reading all the reactions.
Just seeing everything and absorbing and trying to take in the information. And then my phone died because it was at 2%.
No! Oh! No!
Oh, my God. It says that. No! So that was how I found out. So I go inside, obviously, and I pivot, and and then it hits me again.
We're not on the air.
Yeah. That's about when I text you guys.
Yeah.
Should we do something about this? I'm feeling all kinds of things right now, obviously, because I'm in a different galaxy.
Sure, you're feeling fantastic.
No,
this is pretty big news.
Yeah.
I threw out options. I was like, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And
yeah,
then
I didn't want to do a
got...
6 a.m. hour, and I didn't want to do a call-in from the golf course. I just you know what? It's a bummer we're not on the air.
Let it breathe for 24 hours, then we'll be here.
But let it breathe, because much like Mike Richmond, one of you might have gone on the air and given the take, and then 24 hours after that been like, actually reconsidering my stance.
Oh, Mike Richmond had to do a little back pedal on the initial take of the trade.
Richmond doing the moonwalk.
Did he go from
backwards.
positive to negative or negative to positive? Yeah, I don't get it to I get it kind of reaction. Okay, that's pretty fair. All right, we still love you, Mike Richmond. We love you.
We do.
My question is this a standalone thing, or is it the first of a series of moves coming this summer?
Well, I think we just need to start from a very obvious place of they did it.
They did it.
They did it.
To give them, seriously, round of applause to the Portland Trailblazers. No matter what you think of the return, what you think of anything, the fact that they actually did it, they traded Anfernee Simons.
The guy you wanted traded.
To be honest with you,
I wanted traded.
You could have traded him for 4 ham sandwiches, and I probably would have come in today and been like, you know what? I see it. I'm glad you did it. Thank you.
I'm hungry.
I'm going to give you a B+. I could use a ham sandwich right about now. That sounds fantastic. Did you get a dryer with it, too? I could use a new dryer. That'd be great. It's a good deal. Thank you, Portland.
Yeah, you've had that position before where you're like, I don't care what they trade him for, just trade him.
Just do it. Just do it. It needed to happen a year and a half ago. My favorite part about the trade was bumping into Meringue at the end of the show. I was here a little bit longer on Monday, and him talking to me about how they were going to give Anfernee Simons an extension. And I was like, and we ended up having a debate about, why? And then, are you going to trade Scoot? This doesn't make any sense. Why would you keep all of the same guards again? And then it was old Blazer Dirt getting all, kind of hot and bothered about all these takes. And I'm like, this would piss me off. And I'm going to be angry.
They were going to extend him.
This was the take. They were going to extend him. And then 9 hours later, he got traded. And I thought, thank God that didn't end up being what they did.
Yeah, I fully thought they were going to extend him just because it's the Blazers.
Yeah.
This is what they do.
He's going into a contract year. You're not going to let him walk and a free agent next offseason. So it was either give him an extension or trade him. Those were your two options on the table.
And they finally did the thing that we've wanted them to do, though I would argue, nice reminder. Look, people will get clips or they'll listen to the show and they'll disagree or they'll think we have really bad Blazer takes from time to time. What I always find funny is how overvalued internet Blazer fan feels their asset is.
Exactly.
Every time.
Yeah.
We'll trade out. We'll get 3 firsts. We'll trade out. We'll get 2 firsts. You had to attach draft capital.
Yeah.
Second round
move him,
picks.
to
Down the
move
road, second round picks.
On an expiring
deal.
Like
For a 35-year-old with $100 million
Take
left on his
back
contract.
a bloated end of a career contract.
Well,
Yes.
I think we can get into this part of it. You can I think there are two things that can exist that can be true. You can like the trade, and you can also say to yourself, how are we the team trading draft picks with the expiring contract while taking on the 70 plus
I think
million
that
dollars?
more had to do with making because Holiday's contract is significantly more than Ant's in terms of what's remaining. I think that was just trade math. So the value attached to it.
I've read a lot of articles and listened to like 5 different podcasts of people that are smarter than I haven't heard that as a reason. I've actually heard more. Why did they attach 2 second-round picks to that?
But second-round picks seem so meaningless.
No,
down
I'm not
the road.
saying it's like I'm devastated about the seconds.
No.
It's just funny to me that
that's the
I didn't
addition.
read.
Well, yeah.
I didn't read.
That
any
would make
of that
sense, though, if that's
into
what
it.
it
I
was.
just think that was the trade math because
Well, Ant
it
is
was
what, 25 and Jrue is 32 in terms of
Ant's-
per year, right?
something like that.
I think the math was math, and I think
Because you have to be within 90%, right? Isn't that the threshold you
I
have to be
thought
within
so.
financially to pull
I'll
off an
double-check
NBA
what the
trade?
percentages.
Ant this year, would it be the coming year salary that counts in the trade?
Yeah.
27.6.
And I think Drew's 32 and change.
4 or something.
Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I just thought
my
it was
overall point is
trade
this.
math. I didn't even worry about the 2 second-round picks.
No, I don't, they have a million of them.
Whatever.
My point is we thought we were getting 2 first-round picks for that asset.
32.4.
Yeah.
32.4.
I think that
so
math
it's not
is
a huge,
math.
yeah, that math probably maths.
So we had to attach draft capital to get rid of a player that a lot of people on the internet told us has 2 to 3 first-round
Well,
picks.
if anybody had seen what Kevin Durant went for, then there's your reality check.
Yeah, to me, I think it was the reaction to the trade had a lot to do with people who were high on their own supply and some on the other side of the trade who reacted to it who don't watch Blazer basketball. Because I saw a lot of that of like, Boston fleece Portland. You got a 20-point per game score. It's a great deal for Boston. It's like, dude, watch 82 games of Anfernee Simons and then tell me how you feel. Those guys are a dime a dozen in the NBA. There's 3 of those guys, it feels like, on every team.
Boston has one of those players already.
Yes,
He's white.
they do.
He's from West Lynn.
We should have added him in the deal. Why didn't we bring 8 Mile home?
Dirt was mad we didn't
That's
get
the only criticism I have of the deal. Bring him home. Him for the Blazers. We're going to get Sabrina for the WNBA team. Reunite them. Justin Herbert will be our NFL quarterback. Let's go. I think there's a lot of overinflating the value of some of these players, and that's why people had some of the negative reaction that they did.
We always overinflate our
if you don't
players.
live in a bubble of your own Blazer farts, I think it's pretty easy to see that there's not a lot of interest out there. The second Desmond Bane went to Orlando for 5 first-round picks should have been the red flag that went up of like, oh, so they didn't want Anfernee Simons. And Anfernee Simons would have been a lot cheaper than Desmond Bane, and they still said no to that.
But I could have told you Desmond Bane's better than Anfernee Simons.
Yes, I think everybody with a brain can acknowledge that.
I know, but it just, I hope that hit the certain crowd of people that's
we
like.
did the same thing when we traded C.J. McCollum. That's all you got in return. It's like it's a bad contract, and he's an average NBA player.
That's Washington Wizard, C.J. McCollum.
Yes, he got dealt again yesterday. He's going to Washington. Let's go. Running for Congress.
He's definitely going to run for Congress.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have some sort of
Jordan Poole. Yeah, the Pelicans are like, please give us Jordan Poole.
Please give us Jordan Poole.
Please take this guy away from here.
We'll take somebody else.
Don't worry. Good guy off the court, C.J. McCollum.